Hey, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today, we have a very interesting turntable. This is a Dual CS5000. It was probably the last of Dual's high-performance turntables. This one is definitely an 80s model. It is a quartz-locked belt drive turntable with an interesting tone arm. It's called an OPS tone arm. It's quite adjustable. You can change the vertical tracking angle of the head shell. There's quite a few interesting little adjustments you can make on this turntable that make it, a higher performance model for the era. But I am not a huge fan of these just because they tend to be a little bit unreliable, and to be quite honest, they don't sound all that great for the money that they cost. And even now in the used market, you go on to eBay or Hi-Fi Shark, and people are asking $600-700 for this turntable, and it is not worth it. You can do a lot better with a Technics SL 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 1800. Around that price range, you can even get into the Mark IIs. Not the 1200 these days, but the Mark II 16, 17, 18, and all the rest of those. You've got a quartz lock direct drive. Some people enjoy belt drive. They think it sounds better, and that's all fine and dandy. I mean, maybe what we'll do is, if we can get it running, we'll do a test and see how accurate the speed is on it. But the problem is that this turntable is dead. It does get power to it, but we have absolutely no motor spin. We have nothing. It's completely dead. Now, having repaired some of these before, I haven't had a dead one, but I've had other situations with them. And what I'm hoping is there are two flaky capacitors on the motor board. I'm hoping that that's the cause. I've already got a couple caps ready here just in case. So let's have a quick look and see what it's doing. I'm just going to remove the dust cover. This one happens to be in really, really nice condition. Okay, I think it came in two different colors as well. There is this kind of matte black version, and then there is a beautiful natural, I don't know if it's walnut or whatever it is, but that one looks really good. And I think that's the big appeal with these tables. They look really, really nice. They look really high tech. You'd look at it and you go, wow, this would be made today. It looks that good, right? So, okay, power. And this one actually has a power button. Not too many Duals have a power button. So as soon as we turn on the power, one of the speed lights is going to illuminate. And there we go. 33 has illuminated, if you can see that. And it is selecting speeds, okay? But, and this, another thing, the lift is dead. It's doing absolutely nothing. I've got the stylus protector on right now. As you can see, absolutely no queuing. And when we move it over, we have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Totally, completely dead. Now we got flashing 45. And what flashing means is actually this turntable won't drop the stylus until it achieves quartz lock. Now, I don't know if the 33 is flashing. Yeah, it is as well. So it wants to spin, right? See, if you put it back, the 33 stays solid. When I move it over, okay, 33 is flashing. So if we, I wish that arm, if I speed this up, see, I won't be able to achieve quartz lock, obviously, because I'm not a computer. But you can see how it's flashing. So I think the microprocessor is waiting for the motor to turn on, and the motor is not turning on, right? And even 78, we have the flashing there. Yeah, if you can just see that. See that flashing? So it's waiting for quartz lock, right? But it's not happening. So I'm hoping it's just the motor not turning on. I'm hoping it's the capacitors. So why don't we have a peek here? Now, it's not the belt because I've checked the belt. The platter mat is super, super heavy rubber. That's really nice quality. And the platter itself is really lovely aluminum. Now you can see in here we do have a belt. And the belt is good. It looks relatively new. We have a big, heavy aluminum platter here, made in Germany. But once we get into this turntable, you're going to see there's not a lot there, right? So I'm just a little, excuse me. Here's our motor board, a couple connectors here, our main spindle, which feels like it really needs some lubrication. This is our speed sensor. So this thing's going to wait till it gets to 33, 45. Oh yeah, this thing does 78 as well. So just, that's an interesting feature. And under here is our main board, and then our power supply. And here are two capacitors. This one's a 3300 microfarad at 35 volts, and this one is a 2200 microfarad at 25 volts. So why don't we take some measurements and see what we're getting there. All right, we just got this set up here. We'll check the 3300 as well. I have discharged the cap because we did apply power. Just put a screwdriver across the terminals. It's not like they're massive voltage or anything, but I don't want to put some big current through my my meter. So we'll just attach these. It's hard to get a good connection on these. Okay, that's one. There's two. All right. You see that all right? There's no glare. There's glare there. Let's try like that. This is the 3300. Okay. So this one's measuring 4,000 microfarads. Low ESR. That looks okay, but I mean, like I mentioned, these are some weird off-brand German cap, and they are troublesome. So let's try the 2200 now. Let's see what we get there. Come on. Oh, there we are. Okay, this one's only coming in at 1146 microfarads on a 2200 microfarad cap. So I think our first plan of attack here, let's change these capacitors in the power supply. So that's no good. So what we're going to need to do is we are going to need to open this up. Now, if I remember correctly, let's unplug this. I think you remove the 4 feet on this thing. Let's secure the arm and let's remove our head shell. It's a standard kind of dual head shell. You could put like a head shell from a 505 or something on here. There's a really nice cartridge on here. This is an Ortofon MC20 Super. Really nice cartridge. Okay. So, if I remember correctly, all we do is remove the nuts from the bottom. Do you want to see me do that? Hang on. Let's flip it over. Nothing's going to fall here. turn it over so we can see how it's done. And it's kind of funny, like most of the weight of this turntable is just the this big steel plate that's screwed into the bottom of the table. Just a big metal plate here. So if I remember correctly, you just unscrew these. The knurled nuts, they're called. And you remove the springs and the rubber grommets, like that. So you'll have these three pieces that make up the feet. And do the fronts. Just like that. And then you turn it back over because the plinth is suspended. And we'll just remove the that again. And then what you do is kind of like the, what was that, the 513? No, I can't remember. The one turntable I restored here. We move the arm over as far as it goes, and then actually, can we remove? Yes, we're going to want to remove, or do we want to remove this, or maybe spin it in? Been a while. I don't think I need to remove that. So now all you want to do is you want to grab the base like this. Oh, wait a second here. Aha, I remember what you have to do. You have to remove this arm clamp here, and that is a Phillips. This just comes out. Yes. Just like that. So this comes out and, oh, might be giving me an idea of what's going on with this stupid thing. Where's the mechanism? This must be doing something, right? We'll definitely have a look at that later. Okay, I think we're okay now. Yeah. And you just want to gently, carefully. That should probably be glued on there. I don't know why this is coming off. That should not come off. But anyway, it's okay. And there's a way of doing this. Yeah. And I guess we'll remove these two connectors while we're at it. Probably should have removed those before I lifted it. Hang on, let me put this back. One. And looks like two. Screwdriver. Okay. Let's try that again. So tilt. And what else we got here? We got another one, or no? That one's just stuck underneath, and I think that should be it. Yeah, now we can lift that out of the way. And the tone arm wiring's still back here, but that's okay. We've got access to the board now, and we can just kind of bend this out of the way. I suppose we could pull the tone arm wires through by removing this screw. There is a screw right here holding the tone arm wires in. If we unscrew that, it's just a Phillips screw there. We should be able to pull the tone arm cables through. And of course they're locked in a loop. Hang on, let me just pause. I'll be right back. Okay, we're good. So this is all disconnected. So you got two cables there. And one of the hinges went flying. So 1, 2, There's our power switch. It goes back to the power here, and this is the main base. All right. Here's the main table, and here is our power supply. And those, just put this back here. And the tone arm is going to flop around a little bit because there's really nothing holding it, so I'm just going to leave it over to the side. We have more caps on here too. 1, 2, 3. Film cap. This is undoubtedly power. It's a tone arm here. This is quite possibly more control stuff. Here's our big chip here, which is socketed, interestingly. It's a Hitachi chip. An HD 6805. What's that? S6P. So HD 6805 S6P, I think it is. And we got 3 more caps here, but this is what we're after. Okay, we want to see if we can just lift this. Oh, got another cap here. Okay. Yeah, what are these? ROE? EKM? Not sure 100%. And is the board marked for positive, negative? Well, there's positive and negative there. ROE brand. I'm hoping that the board is marked. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to fire up the soldering iron. I'm going to remove those caps. I'm going to check the schematics to make sure I'm not putting them in backwards. And I shall return. Okay, look at this crazy cap. 3300. Oh, it's 40 volts. Although the schematics say 35. So check this out. It's got a center tap for positive, and then all these are negative. But on the board, there's positive and minus marked here, and although the positive is attached to that trace there, and negative, so we can definitely put in a normal cap here, plus and minus. Okay, so I'm just going to put that aside for now. This one's measuring okay, so it's not horrible. So this one here is mounted a little bit more normal, positive on that side. Just wiggle that out. There we go. And that's how that one's marked. That's 1,025. It's funny. This is 1,025, and the schematics was calling for a 2,200. I don't know. Okay, well, I've got 1,025s in stock. I got lots here, so 1,016, 1,050, 1,025. 1,025. This is the culprit, right? Let's have a look. I actually think it's not the big cap that's the problem. It's the little one. Let's put it right into the machine here. All right, so all right, here we go. There you go. It's about, oh, it's 1,000 though, right? So it's not a 2,200. Maybe these are fine. I thought it was a 2,200. So, yeah. So shall we change them? I think we will change them anyway and see if it does any good. Pop a 33 in here. And I'll pop this 1000 in, and we'll see if anything changes. I'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Went online and someone said check the windings on the motor, and if you look here, this winding here should attach, to there, and this winding here should attach here. They're broken off, and there were a little bit of carbon burns here. Now, I don't know if this player got a shot of voltage or something. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do, and this is not easy, I am going to attach a small piece of copper from there to here, and a small piece of copper from there to there, and we'll see what happens. Problem is, of course, is this copper is coated, so it doesn't short out on the metal here. So I am either going to, well, I can't coat my own with lacquer, but if I get some copper here, maybe what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of electrical tape down here so it doesn't short out on the board. I'm just going to use just some regular copper, just put a little bit of solder on there. I have to use it under my magnifying glass because I just won't be able to see. And maybe this is the continuity that is missing on this table. Back in a moment. Okay, I've done a little bit of crude soldering here, but I have attached the motor windings back up. So I'm hoping that this is the solution. You can see the soldering there. I do 4 solder points. There's one here, one here, one there, and one in there. They're not touching the metal here because of this rubber motor mount, so that's good. So anyway, I'm going to just put the top back on, and we'll see if we got any power. When I last left you, I was playing around with that motor, and I had soldered in a couple jumper wires on some broken motor coils. Now, unfortunately, the motor never spun. It would energize, but it would not spin. What happened is I went a little deeper. I removed this board from the motor, and the Hall sensor on it had basically turned to dust. So that was the problem. What you're looking at right now is a new motor, or I should say a replacement motor. This is not the original motor. A kind soul from Canuck Audio Mart had donated that along with a box full of dual CS 5000 parts. That's the old motor you're looking at right there. And we've got screws and main board and all sorts of goodies that this gentleman sent. Power switch, feet, all sorts of great stuff. Main transformer. So that's just absolutely wonderful to know that there's people out there who are willing to share parts. I don't need those parts, but I'm going to hang on to them. So I'm willing to pay it forward if someone needs some parts, because I will not be hanging on to this turntable. We're going to try and sell it here. And what else do I want to mention? Oh yes, so I've gone ahead and I've just serviced this motor. I've put a little bit of electric motor oil in the main spindle there. I have cleaned the spindle here as well, the motor pulley spindle. Lubricated the main bearing. It is spinning, but once again, there is another problem, and this time it has to do with cueing. Now, this is the cueing mechanism for the CS 5000, and if you can see here, sorry for the camera, if you see that motion there, you can see that that is doing absolutely nothing. That's because there is a piece completely missing from the backside of this arm. There should be a spring-like mechanism. It's almost a chrome bar is what it looks like. But as you flip this, it moves, and what it does is it activates cueing underneath there. Sorry, I can't get you a better viewing. So this arm is basically in the down position all the time now. And that's fine. It's better than it being in the up position, because what sits right here is a solenoid. And the CS5000, when you move the arm over, it starts, I don't have the controls here, but what it does is it starts blinking, and it waits for the motor to stabilize through the quartz oscillator, which is right there. And then the piston in that solenoid fires, and the arm drops onto the record. That's how it works. Now, if you want to lift it, of course, that's where the cueing arm comes into place. But unfortunately, this cueing arm is missing that piece. So now the quest begins for a cueing arm. But I don't think you're going to find one of these either, or at least that piece that's underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this puppy back together. I'm going to finish it up. The gentleman also sent in an actual Thacker belt from Germany, which is this one, not the other one. It's a little bit thinner and it's a little bit longer. And the CS5000 is supposedly extremely picky about belts. And if it doesn't have the right belt, there it is, Thacker. If it doesn't have the right belt, it will not drop that arm. But it's not really an issue with this one because the arm's in the down position anyway. So I'm going to button this up, and then we'll get back into the up position, and we'll see if this thing runs. Welcome back. Okay, it's all back together. And while I was working on this, I found a few more problems. I don't know who took this thing apart, but they absolutely butchered it. This casing here around the tone arm was not put on correctly. It was sitting cockeyed. So, remember when I had told you that the piston wasn't working? That's not true. Underneath here, there is the lift. Oh, actually, there it is right there. That's your arm lift right there, and it sits on top of the piston. And what happens is when it reaches speed, I'll show you that in a minute, it fires the piston. Now, unfortunately, this is still useless because there is a piece missing underneath. So the search will, begin, or whatever, for whoever ends up buying this thing, to find that piece. Good luck. But it is working, and I'm just going to show you how it operates. So what we do is we move the arm over. You have to be very careful because it is going to drop. So this flashes until it reaches speed. And then you hear that click. That's the, the solenoid firing. And it drops the arm down. So at the end of the record, it's supposed to fire as well. It's not doing that. It's supposed to stop, actually, at the end of the record. It's not doing that, so there's another problem. The thing is just loaded with problems. It does shut off when it comes back to the armrest, which is great. I mean, you're talking about a table that is basically a manual, 100% manual, without cueing right now. So again, I'll show you that. Listen for the click. Down she goes. And it's supposed to shut off here. There's a sensor. Oh, it did that time. Oh, man. Let's try that again. Watch the light this time. Sorry about the focus. I hate doing handheld stuff, but so flashy, flashy. Quartz lock will come and drop the arm. And at the end of the record, it shuts off. Well, maybe it just needed to be run once. I don't know. This thing has pissed me off to no end. Yeah, I'll be glad to get this one off my bench. It's too bad. It's a really nice looking turntable. I'm sure it sounds really good too. What the hell? Let's put a record on. Just hang on a sec. Just so you know, that is not the original head shell. I just took that off my 505 just for demonstration purposes. The original one is here. It's got that adjustable VTA on it. I just didn't feel like mounting a cartridge yet. It'll probably be sold without a cartridge. But all right, let's see what happens here. Very careful. There's very little movement between the top of the record. I might have to adjust the feet on it. It's almost like I have like 3 millimeters here between the top of the record and the top of the arm here, where it goes all the way up. So watch, I'm going to slow it down on purpose with my finger and watch what happens to the arm. That does nothing. Oh, there it goes. No, I did do it. It's just a little slow to react. My name is Calypso. Yeah. Interesting design, but a bit of a pain in the butt. I'm going to definitely ship with this one out the door. Had enough. Dual CS 5000. If you have one of these, congratulations. You have a beautiful turntable. But if something goes wrong, you're really out to lunch because parts are pretty much not available. And what I've seen on eBay is people just asking an arm and a leg for the stupidest parts. Again, I just want to thank the Good Samaritan who sent those parts for, just the shipping costs. That was great. I appreciate it. Anyway, that is the CS 5000, and we will catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.